my friends, to Couch Pilots, the show that dares to fly into the unknown territory of awful television. Pilots of the past, my name is Jason, I am a captain, and I'm also the black benefactor, and across from me is the man who's going to read my eulogy.
You're darn right I am. I've already got it written.
Captain Philip written, rest assured.
I've already got your eulogy written. I also have my best man speech.
I know we've talked a little bit about that. It actually gets pretty raunchy, I think. Can you go over my eulogy? Just give us a few lines. Just hit the high points.
High points. Jason was a very good man.
Ooh, I like it already.
His dashing good looks helped him tour the world, one underpants at a time. He was a podcaster unlike any other. His witty humor. He was so good at podcasting that other podcasts jerked him off on their show.
You mentioned the word trendsetter before we started. Goddamn right if that's not the case. And it's funny you mentioned I traveled around the world through underpants because a man of simple means myself physically is probably not going to go around the world.
No, but you've figured out a different way.
It's kind of like the Epcot, right? It's kind of like Epcot. You can go to Epcot and travel around the world there, but in my own backyard, I can...
You do it in your backyard?
Yeah. I got a big... I don't know if you've ever seen my backyard. It's AstroTurf, not unlike the Brady Bunch, and it's very comfortable. It breathes easy. It's the drainage is great. It's often dry and clean. Like you just go down and hose it off.
Sure.
It's clean, and you can do whatever you want back there.
Wow.
And again, it drains well.
What I find interesting is I have had many women.
Believe me. Believe me, if you've listened to half of these episodes, you know we've had many women.
But 90% of them have just been from the Aryan race. I mean, they've all been white women except a couple.
Hail Caesar.
But you, on the other hand, your love and your penis have no bounds.
Mm-hmm. I'm really glad to hear you say that live on the show and record it for prosperity. A wise man once told me, variete is the spice of life.
Yes.
And I once had a white lady tell me, am I the only white girl you ever dated?
And your response was?
No.
Not
the case at all.
I started off white.
Yeah. If once you go white, you go a bunch of other places and then back to white, and then from there, who knows? Trademarked.
Do you have a preference?
Anyone that says yes. If they say yes, hey, guess what?
Nice.
I'm on board.
Love life. Isn't it crazy? We're in the 13th season of Couch Pilots. Did you ever think we'd make it to the 13th season?
I was really hoping we wouldn't, but here we are. Let me ask you this. You're veering off subject a little bit, but what about you? I mean, obviously you're married to someone now
that I love tremendously.
And you'll be buried side by side with her someday.
I think we're both going to be burned up into ashes.
And then mixed together and compressed to make some sort of rare element to a stone in which your child will wear on his wedding ring.
That is a great, like a locket. Like you wear it as a locket.
No, rocks are formed by a millennia of compression. But surely we have the technology to take human remains and turn those into stones, right?
I was just gonna put him have him pressed into a vinyl record.
Oh, like a Hank Williams, right?
Yeah, but you can have your ashes mixed into a.
Is that true?
Yeah, no, I saw it on the internet.
That's cool, but eventually shit gets scratched up
or warped,
and then someone's just gonna throw you in the garbage.
Mine's gonna be warped and then go on a garage sale and then eventually thrown away from getting moldy in a storage locker.
Now, what record is this? This is a Hank Williams record pressed from human remains. Pass. But what? But since you're buried and you're locked into that forever love,
sure, forever love.
Is there a different way you would have liked to see the women that you've been with, over 100 strong, as the captain has said once or twice, that you would like to have chopped that up as far as different ethnicities?
I think I should have branched out.
What stopped you from doing that? Sheer tyranny of will?
Well, I don't know. A lot of other ethnicities I don't find attractive.
Ooh, let's count those down. Who are the most unattractive ethnicities?
Filipino women.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't like them.
So you like Asian women, but that sector of Asia is just like the gutter for you.
Right. That's like the redheaded stepchild of the Asians. Mm-hmm. I mean, attraction-wise. I'm not the people per se.
Right. There are some ugly ethnicities out there. Surely you have a few holstered.
I guess maybe my tastes have changed over the years, but it's too late.
It's okay. Not too late.
Or not. It's too late to dip my pen in the ethnicity ink.
Okay. See, I think
That's
all
a good name for an album.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I'd buy that album if it was pressed by you, of you. I love all ethnicities equal. To me, they're all beautiful in my eyes. And as we said before, you all look the same when we turn out the lights.
Exactly.
So,
but I'm a devoted husband now.
Right. You can't think like that.
I don't see a third divorce coming, but if it does, then I will be able to branch out into these other ethnicities.
And also, till death do you part. So I was kind of joking, say they'd be buried side by side.
She's going to kill me. She's going to kill me.
Okay, so maybe I should be talking to
either
her.
Intentionally or unintentionally. She's going to kill me.
And then she'll be able to branch out. Maybe she wants to date other ethnicities.
Oh, I never had a conversation with her about that.
You should, and maybe I'll have that conversation with her when I take her out on a date.
I told her, I said, hey, Jason's going to take you out on a date for sushi.
Yeah.
And she goes, is he expecting something at the end? I said, hey, whatever happens, happens.
I'm glad you didn't say yes or no, because...
Well, I'm leaving the gate open for you.
I want to leave that open. Good, yeah. My front seat is very spacious, I should add, non-sequitur.
Oh, you can bring her home. It's fine. I'll go bowling or something.
Back here? I can bring her back here?
Yeah.
To your marital bed?
like her home turf.
Right. No, that's smart.
Well, because your bed is only a full-size bed. There's no way you guys can frolic in a full-size bed.
You think frolic is what we're going to be doing?
Oh, I'm tons of blasting.
Blasting?
I think that is one of the funniest things when people talk about finger blasting. I laugh every time. And I know women are like, oh, that's really crude, but it's not. That's what you're doing.
Oh, that is what you're doing. I was going to say, when I think of the word blast, I think of like a cannon, like a World War II military cannon on the sea, like a big like aircraft carrier or something. Or I think of like a laser gun blasting, something like that. I don't think about fingers being inserted into someone.
That's the one place where we differ. We're pretty much exactly the same.
You hear the word blast and you immediately go there.
Yeah.
Okay, and I go to World War II.
R.I.P.
Wish I were there now.
Really?
Yeah, I would love to be in World War II. I'd love to be in the trenches, getting shot up.
With the little, like, metal hats?
Oh, yeah, I want a metal hat. Yeah, I want to storm the beach of Normandy.
Ugh, my feet.
Someday we'll be able to do that.
I don't like when my shoes are wet.
No? Mm-mm. What if you just wrapped them in a Walmart bag?
They didn't have Walmart back there.
That's a good point. Really good point.
That's me. Good point guy.
You're the point blaster.
I'm on point.
Pew,
Pew,
pew.
pew, pew. Hey. Pew, pew, pew.
So, anything else exciting going on in your world?
Yeah, we're in April 2nd.
Yeah,
By the way,
love April.
Happy April Fool's Day yesterday.
Happy Groundhog's Day to you, friend.
So the spring is sprung. It's warming up a little bit. We've got a lot of stuff going on in the backyard.
Winter is over.
All the dog poop is caught up.
Bye-bye, winter. Bye-bye.
See you in 3 months.
The dog poop was frozen solid. You could throw it through a window like a brick, and now it's soft and gooey.
Now there was like 47 pounds on the floor of the yard. But we've got a couple of big, huge renovations in the backyard we're preparing for.
Oh, okay.
Probably $1,000 worth.
Oh boy, and you got rid of the playground, right?
Yeah.
And now you're gonna put in like a fire pit or something.
Fire pit's going in. We're putting a new deck floor in.
Okay.
I'm gonna do that myself.
Around the pool.
Yeah, the pool deck.
Wow, you're gonna do that yourself. Mm-hmm. Holy cow.
Whew. Hey,
yeah.
I'm a man's man. I mean, if you look at me, you can't tell it.
I would have never guessed. I would say you're a ladies' man.
The ladies' man. I used to be a ladies' man until I got this big belly and eye skin tags.
Eye skin tags? Good God, man. I've not noticed that. You know
I had them removed. Remember, like about a year and a half ago, I had 2 of them removed.
Oh, okay.
And now they're all growing back.
That's
why I didn't pay the bill, because I knew they would grow back.
I think when I see some pictures of you when you're younger, I think you look like Eminem.
I had an Eminesque.
Eminesque?
Yeah. Some people said that I was a Matt Dillon. No.
Matt Dillon.
Yeah, Matt Dillon.
Yeah.
Then it was Brad Paisley.
Yeah.
And then it was Eminem. Mm-hmm. And now it's just like Mike Mitchell.
Jeez, that's a fall from grace if I've ever heard one.
Oh.
Well, I was watching the third season of Love that prominently features Mike Mitchell, and he looks absolutely terrible.
He looks terrible. He looks awful.
He looks awful.
And he's a horrible actor.
He's younger than both of us, and he looks fucking terrible. He looks like 3 times my age.
And he's a horrible actor.
It kind of makes me feel good, all those things.
Yeah.
Oh, what was I going to say? Mike Mitchell. Oh, the celebrity that I get called every day. I get stopped at least twice a day, and people say, Carson Daly?
Okay.
Carson Daly from MTV's TRL and subsequently Last Call and finally, hopefully, The Voice on NBC.
I get a little bit of that. Schwarzkopf. I get a lot of Schwarzkopf when I look at you.
General Schwarzkopf?
Oh, yeah.
From the Gulf War?
Yeah.
Really? Mm-hmm. It's probably because of all the digital camo that I wear.
That's one of the things I like about you. Is
my digital camo?
Yeah. I remember my birthday, you wore some digital camo, but it was orange, black, and white, and you were like, this isn't right.
Yeah, this isn't what Schwarzkopf would wear. Yeah, I do get General Schwarzkopf on the regs. And, yeah, you know what? Camo, of course, is short for camouflage.
Sure.
And F is short for fan feedback.
Fan feedback. I love fan feedback. We have a dial-in number. It's
beep, boop, boop, beep.
910 Pilots 1, which if you want to...
If you want to get, like, technical and be like a doctor or a lawyer or an obstetrician.
Or such.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. It's 910-745-6871. And if you have call on your rotary phone. Just because you have only a rotary phone at home doesn't mean you can't call us.
Numbers all work the same.
Beep, boop, boop, beep.
Just like vagina. It's all the same in the middle.
What does that mean?
Huh?
What does that mean? It's all the same in the middle.
Well, once you move both the labias,
is that how you pronounce that?
The menorah and the fedora.
No, see, I always okay.
I'm sorry, the menorah and the fedora labia.
The menorah, the labia menorah,
and fedora.
And the fedora. Okay.
There's an inner and an outer.
I thought menorah was like a what you light for the Jewish holiday.
No, God, no.
Of Rosh Hashanah.
Never been with a Jewish girl either.
I've been with a girl with a big nose, but never a Jewish lady.
I'm glad you didn't hold it against her. Did you?
No.
Okay. Well, we the voicemail was frozen solid. Nobody was calling it toward the in the winter time, deep winter. But now spring is sprung, and now we've got so maybe we can only use the phone in the summer and spring.
Oh, maybe so. We'll see. We'll call AT&T.
Okay.
Yeah, let's hear some voicemail.
All right. Let me see if I can get this thing to work without fucking it up.
Oh, it's good.
Hey guys, it's Adam from the greatest and best podcast on the internet, the most dangerous one, the only one that'll get you pregnant, despite what other podcasts claim, the Love Low Podcast. I am listening to Mr. Ed's episode right now, and you just talked about comment or Cupid, and I don't really think a hashtag does this. Full stop, by the way. What we need to do, and here's my opinion on the subject. As I know, you guys deliver interesting facts to my show because you're so desperate for attention. Just kidding. I love you. But here's what I will say. If the fact is so astonishing, such as the one where the man had to kill himself because how bad the show was, I believe you should be able to make a small comment like a, or a, you know what, that's pretty fucked up. Something small. But for the majority of the interesting facts, I don't think we should be allowed to comment on them. But only ones that are so astronomically, insanely crazy. Like, for example, the man killed himself because his pilot's so bad. Adam's dick is so unbelievably huge that it's just, you need to comment on it. But 99% of them, no comment. Anyway, make sure to tell your listeners to listen to Low Blow. Have a week.
I love Adam Z. He's a great guy. Everybody has faults.
I love him because of his huge dick.
His what?
Huge dick.
Yeah, I find that people that talk about how huge their dick is, it's usually the guys with the little dicks.
Yeah. That's why I got the biggest dick in the world.
Hey now. Oh. So this is going back to, we had, during the Mr. Ed episode, we had an issue in regards to what is appropriate and what is not appropriate for interesting facts.
I doled out a fact, and you comment on it, and I appropriately lost my mind.
You're appropriately inappropriate.
Oh!
So and we said fans let us know. And we're going to find throughout the next couple weeks with fan feedback, our listeners came to the table with their voices.
Yeah.
All right. With Adams, Lobo Podcast, obviously, because we want to plug that as many times as possible in a minute and 30 seconds. He was it was a split.
He was really playing both sides of the fence.
Sure, because he doesn't want to make anybody mad. He wants to be friends with everyone. He never starts static with anybody. He's always a straight shooter.
Well, I guess. I mean, he obviously is a fan of the section of the show called Interesting Facts, where we tell you facts and no one is to comment on them. These are facts you wouldn't know otherwise unless I dug them up. And I work so hard to give you these pure, untainted facts. Yeah. And yet people go ahead, as yourself, will comment on them. So he loves the segment so much that he asks us to do it on his show for him.
Right.
We take extra time to do that for him, and
we're busy.
And because it's a part of his show, he doesn't want us to stop that. But at the same time, he's like, "Oh, if it's so interesting, but how am I supposed to gauge that, Adam Z?"
That's the question at hand. How do you gauge it?
Yeah, I don't like his answer. But God damn it if he doesn't get some frequent flyer points just for calling into the show.
Sure, exactly. Let's give him 1,500.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. Lori Garcia says, "Great podcast. Blake Clayton, are you dying? ? You've had that cough since the Nixon administration. You should see a doctor. I'm worried, buddy." Mm-hmm. And I said, "No, it's just too much smoking." Because there was a time when I was podcasting. I quit smoking for 2 years.
Yeah.
And I didn't cough once during one of those episodes.
It really, came to almost a complete halt.
And now it's just bad news.
But I mean, you're happier smoking again, though, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm much happier.
Yeah, smoke away, buddy.
Much happier.
All these people that work for R.J. Reynolds, they have children who need an education, and you're putting those kids through college, one pack of a cigarette at a time.
Thank you very much. I'm helping the community out. Dee Dee from Australia, she comments, #Cupid. You are breaking the original sin when you comment. Mm-hmm. All right, so I'm going to put this one first.
She's pro what I'm saying. Don't comment.
Sure.
But you okay.
But we're not done yet. Jason, I said, Jason will be happy for your vote. Ha, ha, ha. And then Dee Dee said, I don't like when mommy and daddy argue. When we argue on the show, it upsets her tremendously.
Just so everyone here on the show who's listening right now is aware, I have female genitalia. We are quite literally Dee Dee's parents.
Thank God I was not the one that had to have the female genitalia.
That's fine. I have no problem with
I'm not giving this big bad boy up.
You and I, that big hog. I find that if people talk about how big their hog is, it really... So, Dee Dee is our child that we sent to Australia X amount of years ago. We won't reveal her age. That's not polite.
That's not appropriate.
But yeah, I mean, what child wants to hear their parents argue?
And I said, Dee Dee, don't worry about it. It's always just a gag, dear. I don't think Jason and I have ever gotten into an actual fight. I have disappointed him to no end.
You're doing it right now.
But never a fight.
You're doing it right now.
That was a compliment.
Well, you ripped your pants before we started. What a disappointment that was.
My dick was so big, my pants ripped.
It was testing the structural integrity of those stitches.
Right. I got one more. We have a couple more votes, but we'll just do one more, and then we'll next week we'll do some more. Drunken Lullabies tweeted us at Couch Pilots Pod. #Comin'.
So, I mean, the options were comment, which were you are now allowed to comment, or Cupid, which is I will shoot you in the head with an arrow if you do comment.
I think it's from I think it's from a couple episodes back where we said people tweet us coming. I think that's what it was. But
okay.
So right now we have one split and one for you.
Okay.
And tune in next week to find out.
We also have one ejaculate, but you know what? Everybody gets frequent flyer points.
Right.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captains have turned on the fasten seatbelt sign.
Such a sultry voice.
I agree.
I'm going to bed her someday.
You should. Maybe if you take her out for a nice sushi dinner, you could.
Not happening.
Frolic in a
I'd rather
full-size.
jerk off to a never mind. I almost told you what kind of stuff I would jerk off to.
We already did on Broken Funny Bone. We did the porn star.
No, I'm talking like
we did a porn star final draft to say who our favorite porn stars was, but that doesn't even like dip into what you're into.
no. And it was funny how very rarely do we have folks actually share the link to our shows, whether it be Broken Funny Bone or Couch Palettes. Rob was on the show from Hyper Uppercut, a devoted family member for us, you know.
Oh yeah, we love Rob.
And he actually shared it and added, "Hey, if you know me, don't listen to this. You'll think different of me." So the one time we get somebody to actually share the link to our show,
Right.
he says, "Hey, everybody that knows me on my timeline, don't listen to this."
But that's like enticing, though, right? It's kind of like saying, "Here's a button right here. I'm going to walk away." You cannot push the button.
It's kind of like Donald Trump's presidency.
Yeah.
I mean, in 2.5 years from now,
Yeah.
we're going to be like, he's a genius.
We can't-
He's a fucking genius.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I'm kind. Honestly, I'm kind of already there, and I will push that button too.
High five that.
I don't have money, but what I do have are a very particular set of skills. Skills I've acquired over a very long career. Skills that make me a nightmare for people like you. If you let my daughter go now, that'll be the end of it. I will not look for you. I will not pursue you. But if you don't, I will look for you. I will find you, and I will kill you. Couch Pilots.
Wow. Intense. Kind of like this show. Very intense.
Well,
Is that from the movie, the guy that had his family kidnapped?
Yeah, it's called Kidnap, the movie. It's Kidnap, space, the movie. And I felt like, honestly, when we sat down to develop this show, I watched Kidnap, space, the movie, and I was like, this is kind of the tone that we need for our podcast.
Sure.
So,
Intense.
yeah, camping. Intense, right?
Right.
Today we
That was
discussed...
pretty good. That was pretty good.
Well, here's the thing, man. All right, you don't start a podcast.
When you die, I'll make sure to tell that joke in your eulogy.
Why don't you get a shirt and then have a fundraiser for me or something?
Right.
Today we discussed the pilot episode of Changing Patterns from the year of our Lord 1987. Great year.
1987, I'm going to think that I was 12 years old. 12 years old.
And this is one of those examples where I am exactly one half your age. Sucks. Sucks. I was 6 years old.
Nice.
Right down the middle, baby.
What were you doing at 6?
I just moved into my new house in East Peoria.
Is that on the street that you live on now?
Yeah, I own a house just a few doors down from where I grew up, which I have no shame about.
So you live a few doors down from your mother, and you have a full-size bed. You're killing it, dude. You're killing it.
Yeah, I guess no one's ever said those things back to back to me before, and get really kind of shit.
It's all good. It's fine. I'm just pointing out. I want the listeners to be able to feel what's going on.
What am I doing?
You're doing a podcast.
What am I doing? Sitting here talking about fucking pilots that failed? What the fuck is this? I don't...
What else are you going to do?
It's like you just kicked down this barrier in my mind that I had built up over the past 20 years. What the fuck am I doing? I live 2 houses down from my mom. I own a bedroom that can't accommodate a bed bigger than a full size. The ladies that come over, I say, I cannot, you have to sleep out on the couch. Or I sleep on the couch. Both of us can't sleep in here.
I can't believe you let them spend the night.
And I'm here sitting talking about fucking television pilots from the 80s? What the fuck am I doing?
You're a loser.
God damn it.
You're a loser.
Holy Christ.
Join the club, buddy. Welcome to the loser club.
Oh, hey, you know what? Thanks for having me. God damn. What is suicide illegal?
In God's eyes.
God's eyes.
God's eyes.
You can have a fun size, a regular size, a king size, or a God size candy bar.
I like a guy-sized candy bar. Speaking of which, those fundraiser candy bars, when we were in school, the caramel ones had tons of caramel in them, and they were thick. Now they're like a piece of paper with a drop of caramel in them.
Who fucking cares?
I care.
Do you live by your mom?
No.
What size of bed you got?
We got king-size bed.
Yeah, well.
And all the blunts, 40s, and bitches I need.
I wish I had a blunts. Oh, man. I'm sorry. I think this is just going to plague me the rest of the show. I'm really...
I didn't mean to like debunk your life.
Can we talk about the word debunk?
We can do whatever you want.
Okay,
This pilot sucked, so we can talk as long as you want.
Spoiler alert. I think you've been you've been.
You think I've been inappropriately inappropriate? Oh.
You have not been using the word debunk right. I don't think.
What do you mean?
I think like do you remember the show Mythbusters?
Yeah.
They would debunk myths.
Sure.
That means they would like prove them wrong.
Right. I proved you wrong in the fact that you thought your life was not that bad.
Okay.
I debunked that by saying, "Hey, you're pretty much a loser."
Okay. There's another example. I'm not going to get into it. Look up the word defunct later. Look up defunct
And debunked?
and debunked.
Okay.
I'm doing you a service.
Debunky funk. Can I just say that?
Say whatever the fuck you want. Listen.
Hey, this pilot may have been rough, and it was
Let's end it right now.
debunk-a-funk.
All right. See you next week, folks.
On behalf of Couch Pilots and the entire crew, we'd like to thank you for joining us.
That was a
on this
fucking
trip.
piece of shit
We're
episode.
looking forward to seeing you on
We really
board
fucked
again
that up.
in the
We
near
gonna start over?
future.
No.
Have a nice day.
Have a nice day.
We're going to let it roll. Dun, 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 dun.
Sometimes I imagine myself playing the piano here. You ever imagine yourself like playing these instruments?
Is there a harp in there?
It's almost all harp. Here comes the third harp. Harp, 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 harp,
Harp, harp, harp, harp.
right?
God, composers are amazing. Some composers can keep it together.
I tell you what, sometimes it's hard to keep my composure when I have to deal with the fact that I have a full-size bed and live near my mom and I'm doing the show that I'm currently talking.
Can you not fit a queen-size bed in there? Because I will buy you a queen-size bed.
Well, what I had done when I bought that house, and we have plenty of time, I took one wall of my bedroom and I made it all shelves.
Yes.
To accommodate my gigantic CD collection. I think I have over 3,000 CDs. And anything more than
That's
anything
also
now.
kind of a loser thing, too.
Why would you say that? Why are you piling it on? What is my version of the Blake Web?
eBay.
This regular eBay? All right. I could get a queen if I wanted in there.
Well, then why don't you? You'll have much more room to tussle.
I need a lot of room to tussle. I've tussled in some pretty narrow places, and I live my life one tussle at a time. Isn't that what Vin Diesel said?
I think that was the exact quote, I think.
1987. That was a year. Well, in essence, what is a year, right? What is time?
365 days. Today,
Okay,
actually,
it does define a year.
spoiler alert, not the day you're listening to it, but the day we're recording it, it's a virgin equinox.
Oh, thank
It's
God.
where it's light for 12 hours and dark for 12 hours.
Also known as the spring equinox, right? There's something because you got a autumnal equinox, which is in autumn.
Right, and the virgin equinox is now.
I thought it was called something else too. Maybe not though. That's fancy. How did you figure that fancy stuff out?
I don't have to figure stuff out, man. I know things.
How you get so fancy?
I know things.
How you done get so fancy?
God has bestowed upon me some talents unlike any other.
Right.
Okay?
The big dick.
Obviously, my sexual prowess.
Number one, giant organ.
With a bullet.
Meaning, it could take a bullet, it would be just fine.
You're right. I've been shot in the dick so many times by estranged husbands.
He's got such a scarred up cock, you wouldn't believe it.
Oh, yeah.
You could feel his heartbeat in it.
They're like, is that sickle cell anemia? I'm like, no, I just been shot.
No, that's a penis, honey.
Right. That's a penis. Anyway, we're getting off track.
There is a television
1987.
pilot. Yeah.
1987.
Yeah, there's a television pilot we're going to discuss, and it didn't happen right now.
Oh.
It happened in the past.
Sure.
So you and I have to go to the past so we can properly talk about this pilot and grade it such on the time it was released. But physically, as we know, we can't do it there, so we do it in our minds. 1987. Here's some things that happened to put us back there. The Dominion of Fiji proclaims itself as a republic during October. Leading up to the proclamation, Fiji experienced 2 coups and was run by a military government from May until October. Fiji had become independent from Great Britain in 1970, but Queen Elizabeth II was still the head of state until the establishment of a fully independent republic. Fiji enjoyed full independence for the first time since 1874, when it had become a British colony.
Cuckoo, cachoo! And then they set up a factory and they started producing Fiji water.
Which is really the only thing Fiji is known for.
And it's delicious water. It tastes so much different than all the other waters.
What do you think that is? Do you think there's more minerals in it? Do you think it's got extra minerals?
I think it's more Puritan.
Oh, more Puritan.
Yeah.
What are your feelings about the Quakers?
I've never been able to find that nice balance to where the texture wasn't so thick and sticky. Icky.
Yeah, that's why I get AstroTurf for the backyard. The popular television sitcom Full House debuts on ABC during September. Whoops. Pardon me. The
show's built in the back of his backwards.
Oh, my God. The show starred Bob Saget, John Stamos, Dave Coulier, Jodie Sweetin, Beth User, Candace Cameron, and Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen. The plot revolved around a father raising his 3 daughters with the help of his friends and family in the wake of an unexpected death of his wife. The show was part of the TGIF primetime family-oriented block of shows. Full House was on the air for 8 seasons until 1995.
Isn't that was a staple? Either it was a woman whose husband died, or it was a dad whose wife died at a very young age. You saw the house that Full House built.
Yeah.
In San Francisco.
Obviously, the exterior was just a shot, like so many of the pilots we watch, and the interior was in a soundstage.
But you saw the exterior.
It was, it's part of it. It is right on a park. And I went there in San Francisco, and it's called the row of houses that look like that are called the Painted Ladies.
Ah, nice.
And then there's the address that they gave out on the show, and we went to the address, which is in a completely different location. And looked nothing like the exterior of the house. So they took the address of one spot, an exterior shot of the other, and the interior was in a studio somewhere.
Oh, so confusing.
TGIF, thank goodness it's Friday, right? Thank goodness it's Friday. To me, that's where you put all the shit shows on Friday. But somehow, you don't think so? Everyone's out like at dinner or celebrating the weekend.
But I think back in the late 80s, early 90s, we were in a recession, and a lot of people weren't going out, and families were staying at home and watching the telly.
And I tell you what, they must have been, because not only was it a
because it was must-see TV.
It was a must-see. Yeah. It was right up there with Friends and ER and Jerry Seinfeld program. I've seen every episode of Full House. I think we mentioned it on the Brady Bunch, or Kelly's Kids episode recently. Did you have a show like that where it was kind of a family, wholesome show that you saw every episode?
No, I came from a broken family, and we never...
Oh, Roseanne, then. That would be the show for you.
We never watched TV together.
What did you do anything together?
No.
Did you watch TV on your own, and you found some sort of solace in a Leave It to Beaver kind of perfect ideological family?
All I had was a black and white TV where you had to like turn the knob, and only got the UHF and UHV channels.
It only showed the Weird Al Yankovic movie UHF.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
Wow. Honestly, I've never seen all the way.
I didn't have time for television as a child.
What were you doing?
I was playing wiffle ball. I was playing dice for baseball cards.
Really? Oh, so you're a degenerate.
Oh, I was a gambler at I'd say probably the age of 12 years old. There was one day I'm gonna. Do people want to hear this?
If it has to do with the gambler from Kenny Rogers, you better.
One day we used to play dice for baseball cards. Okay, and one day I lost on one roll of the dice. I lost a page of Don Mattingly rookie cards, and there was 9 of them. And at that time, those Don Mattingly rookie cards were worth probably like $45 a piece, and I lost 9 of them on one roll of dice.
How do you play dice? Just the high roll wins?
There was some kind of rules and stuff. I don't remember. It was way back in the day. We used to sit. I lived in the apartments, and we used to sit underneath the first floor stairs of the apartment and roll dice for baseball cards.
It doesn't sound like fun. Were you doing
It's either that or crack.
Well, I was gonna say, were you doing it for fun, or did it give you an element of feeling like an adult?
I'd say it was a little bit of fun, a little bit of excitement, and it actually curbed my appetite for gambling in my adulthood because I don't gamble very often.
Oh, that's good.
I gamble with my life, but not with
so
money.
many times, right?
Yeah.
Oh boy, soul singer Aretha Franklin was inducted into the Hall of Fame in January of 1987. The R&B powerhouse was the first female artist to be included in the Hall of Fame, which had begun the previous year. The criteria used to choose the artist stated that they need to have their first released album at least 25 years prior to their induction, which immediately ruled out any of the other female rock stars who had not emerged until the late 60s. Some of Franklin's popular songs included Respect.
R-E-S-P-E-C-T. Find out what it means to me. R-E-S-P-E-C-T. Hey girl, come on over here and show me that booty. Ow!
Chain of Fools.
Don't know it.
Chain.
Oh, okay. Chain, chain, chain.
Chain
Chain
of
of
Fools.
fools.
All right. Think.
You better think. Think of what you're trying to do to me. I'm from the ghetto, but I'm making money. I am gonna gain a lot of weight as I get older, but damn, my voice is so fucking sexy. Oh!
And I Say a Little Prayer.
I say a little prayer for you when you're building that pipe bomb. I say a little prayer for you.
The Pipe Bomb. It's called Say a Little Prayer, quote unquote, the Pipe Bomb song.
Yeah, the revise is that. That's the. Yeah.
She also boasted
Reprise.
impressive total hit singles and has won over 30 awards.
The bitch could sing. Hell yeah.
Here's the thing about Aretha Franklin. The bitch could sing, all right?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You can't do it with that.
I got a new thing on the mic. I can't really... Woo, 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 woo! I'm in 1987.
I'm there, buddy.
Holy smokes.
I'm back in the Dizzy.
The year changes almost every episode.
Sure.
But what doesn't change is why we watch the changing patterns. The pilot in question. Why did we watch it?
3 simple criteria. The pillars of this show for 13 seasons. This has been the one staple rule. First, it had to be a pilot episode that did not go to series. Whether it aired or not is irrelevant, but only one episode could be made.
Yeah.
Number 2, we had to find it on the interwebs. Okay?
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Number 3, it had to be free. Brum, brum, brum.
This is what happens. I pull out my wallet, right? I got a huge wallet. It's got a massive chain.
Show me the money.
That's exactly right.
So
But
the
when I
bitches
look in
say?
there is no money.
What?
So if I have no money,
Living so close to your mom, you can't come up with a little bit of cash?
not even a little bit. I open that up. There's no money. How am I going to pay for a pilot
You
if I got no money in my wallet?
You can't. You can't. Your
How am
mom's
I
not.
gonna
Your
pay?
mom's not going to give you any more money. Your daughter needs braces. You're gonna.
My cat needs braces.
You're gonna have to go to your mom for some money for the down payment of
I
those
might have
braces.
to borrow my mom's braces.
You can't put her foot braces on your daughter's teeth.
We'll make it work. All right. We'll straighten those teeth out, honey. Where can you find the entire episode of Changing Patterns to watch for yourself? Well, you can do so by subscribing to Couch Pilots and Apple Podcasts or your favorite podcast app of choice, and then simply click on one of our classically blue links in our show notes, or download the app for Daily Motion. And check out all the commotion. Ding dong.
Flight attendants, prepare for takeoff, please.
Flying high again.
Flying high again.
Gosh, you know what? I'm glad the weather is getting nicer. If you look really close, and I was going to ask you earlier if we could switch seats, not switch roles,
Right.
but switch seats because
We should try switching roles sometime.
no, it doesn't work. It's not going to work. But if you look at my face, you can see that one half of my face is sunburned today and one's not.
Why would switching seats do that?
Well, because the reason why it's sunburned is because I'm sitting here on this side.
Oh, I thought you meant like I could see it better. But you're saying you just want to even it out.
Right, because can you not see it right now?
No.
You can't tell the
There's
difference?
a shadow cast on your face.
There's always a shadow on my life.
That's Summary of the pilot. 2 housewives trying to enter the fashion industry can't find a store willing to buy their designs.
I'll take it.
You know what? I won't leave it.
It's a B plus.
Yeah, that's a
If they would
solid
have said
summary.
if they would have said closed designs, A minus. But they just what kind of designs? Spaceships,
Right.
Dildos.
Diltos?
Yes, it's like a
The Fresh Maker.
yeah. You put it in a Coca-Cola and close the lid and it blows up.
I like that. I also like Common or Cupid. Interesting facts.
Interesting facts. Pretty plain and simple, guys. Right now we're tallying up the votes at this point in time.
Cha-ching, cha-ching,
So
cha-ching.
until we get those votes, until we get those votes, you got me.
I pantomimed it.
Oh, they're so cute and cuddly, aren't they? Those pantomimes. As of right now, until we officially get a ruling, you're not to comment on these facts.
We're grandfathered into old rules until the new rules
Sure.
are passed the legislature.
Yeah, I mean, you can take these facts, you can think about them, but don't express your thoughts to anybody about these.
It's not fair.
If you have a four-legged friend, feel free.
And we're not talking about some sort of hybrid mutant person from a nuclear fallout. We're talking about an animal.
Right,
pet.
no X-Men.
Right, no X-Men, please. Release date, June 26, 1987. Summertime.
Summertime. Pilots go to die.
Fact. The director of this pilot, Linda Day, has directed other shows such as Mad About You, Sabrina the Teenage Witch, and Married with Children.
Wow, that's a large spectrum of different directors' styles of shows.
Notable television programs, right?
That's what I was gonna say, but fuck it.
I saw a preview the other day for a movie that Helen Hunt is going to be in. You remember
Nice.
Helen Hunt?
Oh yeah, I used to have a meta milk boner for her.
And
She was very boyish looking. I don't know why I had. Maybe I was gay back then.
Oh, did you switch teams?
Yeah.
How many of the 100 were the guys that you slept with? How many?
None.
No. I mean, how many out of the 100?
None.
You're telling me 0 out of 100.
0 out of 100 were guys.
I have a fraction of
Okay,
that number,
I'm
and
sorry.
a couple have been guys.
When I was molested, I guess that counts as 1. So it wasn't really
yeah,
my.
that's what I was digging for.
It really wasn't my choice, but you wouldn't drop it,
Jesus.
and so I had to go ahead and say it.
Woo! Now you're just bragging.
Bragging about getting molested.
Yeah. They were all real impressed that you got molested. You were such a hot kid that everyone wanted to fuck you.
Not everybody,
Jesus.
just one.
Jesus. I was just going to say that I saw Helen Hunt recently, and it was it's pretty upsetting.
She didn't hold up. She has
No. Time has had its way with Helen Hunt.
Well, she was at the cusp of not even being attractive and Mad About You and in Twister. I mean, she was at that cusp. Like at any second, she could turn into ugly.
Yeah, no, you're right. I think they should make an update to those things called Mad About Twister. I would love to watch that.
Wasn't there supposed to be a Mad About You reboot?
I think that was in the works because none of them really have anything going on.
Sure, of course not.
So hey, may as well, right?
Yeah.
It was funny to me that John Goodman got involved with the Roseanne reboot because John Goodman is like he's a dude. He could do stuff whenever he wants. Why would he choose to go back there?
Yeah, he was just on Saturday Night Live.
I applaud him. I applaud John Goodman.
Once I see it and see how they're working back into the show, then I'll see whether I applaud or not.
Just the fact that he would go back and
Do you remember he played Babe
with
Ruth?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think the movie was just called Babe, right?
Yeah.
And it was about a talking pig and Babe Ruth.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Stars Valerie Perrine as Molly. You may know her from Walker, Texas Ranger. Nash Bridges. I'm sorry, I'm really burpy right now. It's
Are you all right?
probably from this Dead Guy Ale by Rogue. This episode of Couch Pilots brought to you by Dead Guy Ale by Rogue Brewery.
Rogue Brewery, bring back the Grape Ape beer. They don't have it anymore.
Voodoo Donuts from Voodoo Donuts. Yeah, absolutely. And Northern Exposure.
Oh, I love that. I remember Northern Exposure, and I remember me and my mom used to watch that when I was a kid.
Northern Exposure.
There was a moose that would walk through the town at the beginning of every show.
Yeah.
It was crazy how the timing of that. He timed it perfectly every time.
It's great that there was a show that your mom and yourself would watch together. And I would say that Northern Exposure is one of those first television programs that was quirky.
Yeah.
That was a quirky show.
Sure.
Yeah, the really cool guy who was running the radio station, right? You got the sex. See, I thought the girl lost her sex appeal when she cut her hair, but that revealed so much neck. That might be the origins of your neck lovings on women.
You know what? Now that I think about it, that could be the origin
It really
story.
could, right? And then you had a guy who was an astronaut, a former astronaut, the old guy who's rich.
Yeah.
Right?
Just out in Alaska.
And always with the moose. What was that moose's name?
Mighty Moose.
Mighty Moose. Love that moose. Huh, great program. Also stars Brenda Vaccaro as Maxine. You may know her from her voice on The Smurfs, Murder She Wrote, and The Golden Girls. She had bit parts. These are like bit actors.
Sure. I think she played a couple different characters maybe throughout the years on Golden Girls.
Really? That's really impressive.
But that's happened a couple of times in Golden Girls. There were people that came on that ended up like playing different roles completely.
You know what's funny too? Like Law and Order. Have you ever heard of that show?
Yes.
It's
O.J. Simpson.
Right. It's been on for I think it's in its 105th, 106th season. And they will recycle actors as well. You look at someone and it'll say, "Oh, James Vanderbeek. He was on once in 2001 and again in 2014, but it's a different character."
Sure.
They'll recycle people like that.
You have to.
So that's funny to me that you recognize that girl as having been on it's not only several times, but as several different characters.
Again, folks, I want to put this out on the Ethernet and on Blake Webb. If there's anybody that wants to do a Golden Girls podcast with me, I am available. Let's do it.
Does anyone want to do a Golden Girls podcast with me?
Like Golden Girls if everybody else like it, except you're not gay.
Changing Patterns is yet another dip into the CBS Summer Playhouse. Interesting facts. Over.
Nice. Put it on the board.
Pop, pop. That's the sound of it going on the board.
Bam, bam. Bam, bam.
Pop, pop. Twitter responses. Pop, pop.
Twitter responses. I sure hope Jason got some Twitter responses.
Yeah, right. You wish.
There's a time and a place for subtlety. This is not that time, and my basement is definitely not that place. Join me, Blake Clayton, every Friday for the Broken Funny Bone podcast, a show that exists solely as a conduit to subject my friends, various guests, and anyone who dares to listen to my unending and incurable insanity. We'll play games, sing songs, run jokes into the ground, navigate my personal foibles, and fist fight to the death every week. Want more? Tough shit. Go somewhere else. We are the world's leading authority on poo-poo and pee-pee jokes, and we know it. That's fun. That said, if you're looking for a good time, throw out your little black book of ex-lovers that you are too fat to get with now and subscribe to Broken Funny Bone Podcast wherever podcasts are available and in your grocer's freezer. It's okay to laugh. We won't tell. Jason, again, I want to say thank you for the birthday present. I'm finishing the last of the birthday present. I love it. It was great. Thank you very much.
What is that present?
Dead Man's Double IPA from Iron Spike Brewery.
Yeah, you're
welcome. I'm going there. Actually, as the time of this recording, I was there 2 days ago. Really?
Yeah. What took you back there 2 days ago?
We're going to go see a musical artist in Galesburg.
Who?
Joe Huber.
Okay, I've heard that name before.
Yeah. And he was at my 40th birthday party. He played.
Okay, yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
On Meadows Avenue there.
Yeah. And my wife said we can go to Iron Spike for dinner and then go to this show.
Do you have a favorite meal over there?
I love their fries.
They're French fries.
Yeah, they're delish. But every time I go, I have their pulled pork with no barbecue sauce.
No barbecue sauce.
Barbecue sauce.
I was there recently to get that for you, and I told you this story recently. I was going down to the Galesburg, and I'm thinking, Steph from the former Let's Try This podcast, she works down there.
Sure.
I said, why don't you just live down there? I didn't say it to her, but I'm thinking it. And so on my way down there, I text. I say, hey, Steph and Kevin, you guys know the Galesburg area. I'm going down there with my daughter to get some beer, which doesn't sound great.
And did they say, don't call me daughter?
They did say that to me, and I don't know what to say to that. Anyway, I said, what is there to do in Galesburg? And they said, go to Iron Spike Brewery. I said, okay, that's where I'm going. Well, what else should I do? And they said, there's nothing else to do.
Right.
And I get down there, and even the interstate wants to get away from the town. It does a sharp turn, like a 90-degree turn north when it hits the city.
Sure.
That's nothing to do with Galesburg.
Yeah, I used to live there.
You mentioned that to me, and I can't believe you live there because I got into town, and it's like a teenage wasteland. I tell you what.
I'm a teenage wasteland, baby. Come to Galesburg, and you'll never leave, maybe.
Iron Spike, God bless them, they are the single and only tent pole that town has to offer because the rest of it is garbage city.
They're holding the whole town up.
It used to be Maytag, a notable appliance store, but now it's a single brewery.
Yeah,
it's a cool place. Iron Spike is cool. If you're in Galesburg or heading to Galesburg for some god awful reason, stop at Iron Spike. Great spot. The rest of town, not so great.
Nice.
Let's break down
Do they
the
have a bowling
pilot.
alley there? I wonder if they have a bowling alley.
Yeah. Okay. So you go to a town, and I talked to the waiter at Iron Spike, and I was like, "Hey, I'm here with my daughter." No, I didn't even say. I said, "Hey, what's something to do at night?" And I'm sitting there with my daughter, right? And he's like, "Oh, you talking about the bar scene?" I'm like, "No, I'm with my daughter." And he's like, "Oh, well, there's like a bowling alley and a movie theater." I was like, "I don't want to fucking I can go to a bowling alley at home. What the? It better be one awesome bowling alley to go there." I'm like, "What's like unique to Galesburg?" And he's just like scratching his nutsack and walks away. There's nothing unique.
Do you know that's my new thing I'm going to do this summer?
Scratching your nutsack?
No, do that all day, But I'm going to
Bowl around the world.
I'm going to go on a bowling tour. I'm going to see how many bowling alleys I can hit this summer. Different bowling alleys.
Is there a app for that, like the Untapped app for craft brew? Is there like a bowling app?
It's called Google Maps. And I print it out.
I've heard of that.
And then when I go to one, I poke a hole in the little red upside down teardrop.
Okay. Listen, I think we've wasted a lot of time. I've had fun doing it.
Oh, yeah. It's the best hour of my life.
Let's tear through this pilot real fast. Okay?
When the late 80s, what do you have on every sitcom theme song?
Saxophone.
Sexy saxophone.
Hold on. Did you really put sexy saxophone in there? I put sexy sax too. High five that shit.
We've been doing this a long time. 13 seasons, baby.
You got materials, like cloth materials. You've got
it's a montage
rulers.
of different kinds of, they're creating.
Yeah, sewing. You've got buttons, steaming, hangers, ironing.
Buttons.
Oh, batons.
Oh, you know what else they had? They had that little thing, that little piece of chalk that they marked.
Yep.
I saw that. That was pretty cool.
And they had
probably the best part of this pilot.
the chalk. Wow. It's really setting a precedent. They sew the title of the show into the material.
Yeah, it's like a tag.
Changing patterns. You got a man in a kitchen.
Skip.
Yep, he's got a blender and he's blending something up.
He's making a smoothie, and everyone ends up drinking it that comes onto this scene except him.
A woman is bossing Skip around. It turns out to be his wife, Molly.
You know what? This really hit home.
Can I call you Skip?
Oh, you can. Yeah, for the rest of this episode, call me Skip.
You got it, Skip.
Nice.
The neighbors come in and they're carrying boxes and they're like, "Hey, it's time for the grand opening." And then as the audience, we're like, "I don't know what's going on." But that's okay. That's okay. We don't have to know right away.
And it's Maxine
and Audie. It's Audie. Audie is the husband of Maxine.
Arthur. Hey, Arthur, carry these boxes in for me. He's dead. You know that?
Really?
That guy was Mo Green. He was in The Godfather. He's a character actor.
yeah.
He's dead now.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think they shot him in the eye in that movie.
My eye.
They gave him the Mo Green special, is what it's called.
Mo Green special. Anyway, the husbands are loading the car, and
I have the husbands are loading up the vehicle.
God.
High five that shit. Oh God. They're getting ready for the grand opening, so all these boxes contain whatever the fuck they're getting
food,
ready. Yeah.
there's some sandwiches because they're having a grand opening.
Bunch of cream cheese and bagels.
Let me just cut to the chase. This is what it is. These two women, all right, are in their early 40s.
At least.
At least. And they are now opening up their own clothing line business. Their husbands are in their 40s as well, and they've just retired from the tire business.
They own their own tire store.
So they're changing the pattern of their relationships.
Oh, wow. Look at you. Nice.
Thank you.
And then I will add on to that by saying the show should be called, instead of Changing Patterns, it should be called Look at All These Fucking Shoulder Pads.
Right. And listen to this heavy laugh track.
These women look like they're linebackers.
Oh, yeah.
These shoulder pads, man. Yes, and the laugh track, of course, is off the hinge.
Do you think it's rather like overly played in this? I mean, I guess every one we watched from the 80s, but this one seemed like
it's obnoxious.
I think what happened was they wrote this and they go, okay, we'll give it a try. Then they filmed it and they go, all right, and then they edit it and they're like, eh. And then they watched it and they said, go back and just put the laugh track in every time someone says something.
It almost sounds like too much work what you're saying, but you might be right. 'Cause I struggle to think that anyone put too much work into this pilot, period.
Ugh.
But the next scene, it's welcome Western regional buyers. So they're at this store, and it's almost like they're showcasing their goods. So people
And services.
right rendered, and so companies will come in and say, "I like your line of clothing."
Right, Saks Fifth Avenue, Macy's. They're all going to come in, look at their line of clothing, and see if they want to purchase something. But the problem is, nobody is wanting to purchase any of this stuff.
They've got all this food and drink out, trying to woo people. They're paying a lot of attention to the potential buyers, but nobody is having it. This is where I realized that Artie is the name of the husband. And then Skip comes in. He's like, "How's it going?" They're like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh, guess what? No problem. I'm gonna make you guys dinner. I'm so proud of everything that you've done, all
Sure.
the work you put in. I'm gonna make you dinner." He's trying to encourage him.
Right, so even Skip and Artie missed golf today so they could support their wives.
This is the comedic duo of Skip and Artie, right? Going forward, these two would be the jokesters to pop in, like the Squiggy and whatever.
Lenny.
Very good, thank you, Squiggy. I would never come up with
Squiggy?
that. Is his name Squiggy?
Lenny and Squiggy, but you keep saying Squinty.
Squinty. Yeah. Yeah, it's the Asian version.
The Asian version.
Anyway, so the pink outfit is Molly at this point, because at first I didn't get their names and I was going by their outfits, and she's dumb. She seems like a dumb lady to me.
She's not the smartest. But I think Maxine's got about 5 or 10 more years on her.
And 5 or 10 more packs of cigarettes a day on her too.
Yes. The funny thing is, this is Maxine. This is my imitation of Maxine.
Right.
This is my imitation of her husband, Artie.
Yeah. I think what they do is they buy one pack of cigarettes, and then one person is smoking it and blowing the smoke directly into the other person's mouth.
Could be. Highlight of the show, the tailor that they employ, Edgar. He's a little old man, and he makes good jokes, and he gives the girls some advice.
Yeah, you got to tell them that they're not their first order. So it doesn't seem like, because no one wants to be the first. You got to fudge it a little bit.
Sure.
And fudging, he's basically saying you got to lie.
And you will hear fudging for like the next 10 minutes.
And then you got Steve, as the aforementioned Saks Fifth Avenue. He comes in, and he likes the designs, and he's kind of being charmed by the girls too.
Right.
And he says, and then Maxine is very pushy with Steve. She really wants him to buy right now. And he's like, "Well, I'll tell you what, why don't I meet you downstairs later in the restaurant
For dinner.
And I have a friend who I think would really be into Molly." And at this point, you think he's talking about himself as the friend. He's being kind of facetious. That's what you think.
Oh, I
anyway.
love that word, facetious.
It sounds like feces, which is human shit. Maxine is kind of hoping to pimp out Molly at this point to get a sale.
Sure,
She's
she's going to use her as her clothing whore.
She's got to, right? Even it's just their first day. Who's expecting to make a sale on their first day? But apparently they are, and they will go to any lengths on their very first day to get a sale.
Right. It seems like they've been open for an hour and a half. 2 companies have came in and not said yes or no.
They're already ready to quit and cry.
They're desperate.
Yeah.
They're already desperate. They're
So
like, you know
time,
what?
yeah.
Molly, if you got to fuck this Steve guy.
Fudge.
I'm sorry. If you got to fudge this Steve guy, you're going to do it.
Molly is a little bit of a fox. If you caught her maybe 15 years before what we saw her, I'd be like, that's pretty good. But this is just past her prime. The clothes really are awful. The style and the hair is just terrible. It's streets away from where she should be. But given like a modern look at that time, she could be kind of a foxy lady, I think.
A bump?
No.
Okay.
No bump.
Thank God. I'm glad you said that. That was kind of a test to see if we should keep doing this podcast.
Oh, really? Wow. Glad I passed. Where am I? Back at the house, Arthur and Skip are making dinner.
Oh, yeah. And Skip is killing it. And he's got the towel over the shoulder. He's whisking and
Arthur
sauteing.
is doing almost exactly nothing.
Fucking Arthur is pretty worthless altogether. All he wants to talk about is going golfing.
And tasting the food, too. And they're like, oh, you know what? It's time for Oprah. So Oprah is mentioned in this show from 1980s. 30 years later, Oprah, still in the American lexicon. You got to love her.
And this is where you get the gist of the subject matter of this show is the gender roles have been reversed.
That's the catch of the show.
That's the catch.
That's their hook.
This is where, you put your mouth up to the TV and that sharp hook
Ouch. Ooh, ow,
goes
ooh,
right
ow,
into your
ooh,
face.
ouch,
And
ouch,
you
ouch. Yeah. So the girls arrive home and they debate telling the boys about the business meeting / date they're going on.
Right, and you know, like I said, they got the dinner ready. Artie brings his bottle of 1977 Elvis wine with a screw cap.
Ba-doom, doom. Ba-doom, doom.
Walked in morning, can't say hey,
Songs.
Kickstart my heart.
He said this wine, yeah, it's a good year for the rose or the wine. He says.
Ha.
Molly struggles to tell Skip about the business meeting, and she fails to mention the gender of the person.
There's a lot of her/him jokes.
Yeah, a lot of they kind of things. Yeah, and gender, I should add, is fluid, and not a solid or a gas.
Well, when it comes out of your penis, it doesn't actually have a gender yet. It's still considered a sperm.
Oh, semination. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Skip says to invite her, meaning the business person, over, and he is not pleased when he finds out that she is a he.
He starts whisking very hard, whatever he has in his pot.
I don't think there's anything in there.
You don't think so?
No. Do you think there's something in there that
I think there was some pudding.
Pudding?
Hey, some pudding gonna make you fall asleep.
That's like Arnold.
Far and away, the very best Bill Cosby impersonation I have ever heard.
Thank you very much.
They talk of jealousy, and Maxine and Arthur make out.
Oh yeah, it's a gross. It's like old people kiss. It's
As
like
soon as they-
super hard.
Yeah.
It's super hard. There's no movement to it. It's just like let's press each other's skulls against each. It's like you know, like when you see a human skull and there's no nose, but there's like that little like
The nasal cavity.
nasal cavity is all you see. They want those to touch on this kiss.
Arthur looks like a catcher's mitt. He looks like his eyes are dark and sunken, right?
Yeah.
He kind of does look like a skeleton.
Sure.
Anyway, Skip agrees that Molly should go on her business meeting, and the next scene, they're at the bar, the restaurant where they're meeting, and Maxine tells Molly to keep her left hand under the table to hide her wedding ring, as she's been married for 20 years, it turns out.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that?
Been married 20 years?
Right.
No, I couldn't even combine the 3 that I've been married to. It's not even close to. It's not even half of 20 years. What I have 1966 to 1987. Oh,
That's probably when they were married.
those were Maxine and Molly make a comment about how from 1966 to 1987 that was the apron years for them because they stayed at home.
Now the times they are changing patterns, right? Steve arrives in an all-white suit, and they call it the pleasure suit. He doesn't call it that, but they see him in it like, oh, he changed out of his business suit, and now he's in a pleasure suit.
White must be pleasure.
So they're kind of like getting antsy, like, oh, he's looking really good. He's changed. He's dressed specifically to meet us here.
Sure,
we're kind of done.
to do the wing dink.
Yeah,
yeah, and the girls are starting to feel guilty. They're like, we should have done this. This probably wasn't, it was not a good
Getting real
idea.
antsy.
He's in this sexy ass suit.
He has
I want to fuck his
feathered,
brains out.
I would too. He's got feathered Scott Baio hair.
Right, and they're like, you know what? We're fudged.
Yeah, he's talking to a guy. So apparently, he says the guy has a friend there to meet Molly, and we still don't know what's happening really.
Yeah, his name is Jim. Mm-hmm. Are you just saying yes?
No, it's his name. Jim's
Okay.
his name. Molly confesses to Steve that she's married and kind of assaults him over his suit.
Right.
They're being really aggressive towards him, even
Be
though they're the ones.
aggressive.
Be?
Be aggressive. Buzz.
Molly, or Steve rather, his wife then arrives to meet them for dinner. Her name is Alice, and then the ladies are like, "Oh man, we're so embarrassed by
Right.
all the assumptions we
We're-
made an
we were
ass out of you and me."
douchebags.
Yeah, they were.
Come to find out that Steve had brought Jim as the single friend. Maxine apologizes over and over.
I apologize.
That's good.
That's for you.
I know. I love you for that. You know what? You put my feelings and thoughts ahead of most people in your full size bed. And I appreciate that.
Oh, what am I doing? The girls, they apologize and they start to leave when Steve announces that they have the best line of clothing that he
Right.
had seen all day.
So all this was just like he had seen so many lines of clothing that day, and this is the best line I saw all day. And they're like, oh my gosh, you really liked it. Cut to the husbands back at the house playing pool.
A gentleman's game of billiards.
I love billiards.
I do too.
There was a comment about a famous pool player, but I couldn't remember.
Fats Domino.
No, but the husbands.
Fatty McGee.
The husbands are playing pool, and Artie's like, "I can do this trick shot,
Boink.
and I bet you $5 I can." And Skip's like, "No, you can't." He does it. Boom. He's like, "How much money have you won off me on bets?" He's like, "Remember that trip me and my wife took last year?"
No. Remember the addition on the house.
Addition to the house. And he's like, "That's good of you. Thank you, guy."
Yeah, you really liked that joke, didn't you?
Yeah.
So rarely do we go down to the actual joke itself. You must have really liked that one to mention it in the summary.
I'm pulling anything I can possibly pull from this.
The girls arrive home and they confess to the boys about what happened at dinner, and the boys are pretty quick to forgive. And it turns out they got the orders. They
made the
revealed to
sale.
Steve, yes, we got the order. They then surprise the girls with a special dinner. The end. This is interesting to me at the end here. Did you watch it through the end? During the credits, it revealed the results of last week's CBS Summer Playhouse call-in votes. Did you see this?
I saw it, but I didn't pay attention to it.
We have done...
I so badly wanted just to be able to turn this off.
We have been watching a lot of failed pilots, obviously. This is 120 some odd that we've seen. Sad. And a handful of them have been from the CBS Summer Playhouse. So it's funny to me that when we watched, I can't remember what show we watched, but at the beginning there was a black couple who had said, you know what, call into the show and tell us whether you like it or whether you don't. I think they had separate call-in numbers, and they did at the beginning. And I think the woman was the second mom from The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And then at the end of the show, they came back and said, hey, I hope you like the pilot. Remember to call in and vote. And I thought that was funny because I had never seen that before. But I had never seen this either. And that was at the end of the show, they said, hey, remember Kung Fu, The Next Generation, or whatever the hell it was? Here are the results from last week's voting. It says 97% of people liked it and 3% of people disliked it. They had over 90,000 telephone calls voting for these shows. Back then, 90,000 is not a lot in terms of viewers, but still, we think with such a high success rate on this Kung Fu pilot, you think they would have done something with that. Apparently not. Next, it says at the end of the program, next is Mickey and Nora. That's a future pilot, I will say. This whole time, Captain Philip, rest assured, has been taking a piss. Let's go out into Turbulence all by ourselves.
Please remain seated as we are now crossing a zone of turbulence.
Woo! You are long-winded. I couldn't get a word in edgewise.
I already revealed to everyone that you're taking a monster piss, so...
it's a monster piss!
Why don't you take the helm here and tell me why this show didn't work?
Whew! Where do I start? Folks, no star power right off the bat. Two, this is like the shitty version of Designing Women. This is like if Designing Women had a birth defect, that's what this show was. It wasn't interesting at all. The jokes, there was only one funny joke, and that was the pool trick. That was the only funny thing. Way heavy on the laugh track, and you knew it was heavy because they knew, as well as you know, that this was not funny. The premise in the late 80s, I'm sorry, ladies, nobody cared about your careers. All right?
I think that Designing Women was the shitty version of Designing Women, which makes this an absolute designing abortion.
Ooh, we're going into the abortion topic.
Oh yeah. You know what? I never shy away from Roe versus Wade. I
got a T-shirt.
Says, you have a Roe versus Wade.
On the front of it says Roe versus Wade.
What do you wear that for?
Where do I wear it?
Which side of that are you on?
I wear it to the mall.
Are you a Roe guy or a Wade guy?
Hey, Rogue One wasn't that good.
Rogue One versus Wade. Hashtag Rogue One versus Wade.
Let us know what you think, folks.
The show, it had 5 characters essentially that would be reacurring. It had the 2 couples,
6,
and then you had Edgar.
Oh, okay.
Steve would not. He
right.
might be.
Oh,
back,
I thought you meant. Okay, I thought you meant just on it. Yeah, to me, Edgar was the highlight. I'm going to give this an Edgar bump.
Oh, really? That's actually very pleasant to see because whoever played Edgar has to be long dead and buried.
Oh, big time.
He was probably pressed into a vinyl record. What would the record be?
Bing Crosby.
Oh, really? I was going to say Miami Sound Machine. Anyway, what would you do to improve changing patterns?
I would, to be perfectly honest, give the show to Steve
Okay.
and Artie, and really like.
Skip and Artie.
Did I say Steve?
Steve is the guy from Sax
Skip and Artie. Go with Skip and Artie and how they're dealing. Like, make it the focal point of the show. That in just their interactions with each other. Go to the golf course. See him. Push a shot to the right on a fair. A par five.
I didn't think they were particularly great together. I definitely recognized Mo Green, which I didn't realize who he was.
I remember Skip. He looks familiar.
See, he didn't look familiar to me. I didn't think together they could hold a show on their own, but I definitely think that their interaction was more interesting than the ladies.
Because Maxine and Molly, all it was just blah 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 blah
Yeah.
blah 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 blah.
This is what I would like to see. I would like to see a bosom buddies version of this show where the two ladies realize as women they can't make it in any industry and must dress like men to sell their patterns.
Thank you.
So you're welcome, sir.
I like it.
So I would love to see that. And then if I were to change it anyway, that's what I like. If it had gone forward, I don't know. It seems very formulaic to me. There's nothing super original other than the reversal roles of the genders.
Right. I think. Yeah. Exactly. That's all they had going for it.
Yeah.
Like to continue. Okay, you sold one. Now you're a business.
Right. Yeah. I don't know.
You can't get into their love lives because they're not single. So you don't have that to go off of.
Maybe they have to go to fashion shows and deal with silly models. Maybe you have to go to meetings and protect the fact that we're women in charge of this. We own this.
Probably have to do blow off a buyer's cock or something.
Yeah, some guy gets real stiff on his penis and they sniff it off. The typical fare, right? Typical 1980s.
In the fashion world, yeah.
Primetime fare.
In late 80s, the fashion world was all cocaine.
I would like to think that it still is.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we start our descent, please make sure your seat backs and tray tables are in their full upright position.
If you wanna get down, you better check it out. Cocaine. She don't lie, she don't lie, she don't lie. Throwing your kid off the porch.
It always comes down to that, really, with Eric Clapton, isn't it?
Oh, I love Eric Clapton with Cream. Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Early Eric Clapton, amazing.
What about whipped cream?
To me, it doesn't do anything.
Right.
Like, I don't like it in the bedroom.
It's empty calories.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Ouch.
Watch your head there, buddy. This is the part of the show when we say, hey, we saw this fucking shit, but other people have seen it. Have they? No. No one has seen this. This was aired on a major network. Mm-mm. You would think that alone would garner some reviews or some ratings. Not the case at all.
Not gonna do it.
I'm not going to do it. That was by George Bush.
At this juncture.
Read both of my individual lips.
You pussy lips.
Jesus. Rotten Tomatoes. No.
Nothing.
IMDb.
Nothing.
There's no critic reviews. There's no viewer reviews. People saw this and they said,
I forgot about it already.
Yeah, they said, not for me.
Not gonna.
I said, I'll pass. I'll go ahead and watch the Adventures in Babysitting pilot again.
Right.
And fart.
Well, they pass gas.
If you were to take this rotting corpse of a pilot and turn this into a record, what would it be?
What was score?
No, what would like if you turn this record into a pilot? If you took its corpse and made its ashes into a record.
Mel Torme.
The Velvet Fog.
Bringing it back.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to FCF Airport. Local time is 11:11.
I should have said snow.
The temperature is 69 degrees.
Informer?
For your safety and
Informer.
comfort, please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened until the captains turn off the fasten seatbelt sign.
That's how I keep myself from drinking. I'm getting a patent for it.
Yeah, straw.
It's like a microphone stand.
You're trying to lift a cup up to drink and become more inebriated than you already are, but your mic stand is in the way. You have to explain things. What's that name of that dastardly dog?
Yeah.
From Hanna-Barbera?
Yeah.
You're that. That's you. You're that cartoon. Oh boy, Lori
I don't
Garcia.
want Lori Garcia to
I
hear
was
me
gonna say
cough.
she's gonna be upset. Oh boy.
Boy, I'm gonna die. I need to come to Peoria before I die.
You know
Do you
what?
think she'll come to my funeral? Okay, here.
Hashtag
Hashtag
gravesite.
hashtag birthday death day. If Lori Garcia,
Yeah.
Tyler, and Dee Dee
Right.
all found out that I had died, who do you think would make it to Pekin, Illinois for my funeral?
All of them. I think all of them would.
Really?
And I would
Aw.
I would love to tap any three of them
You want
to be my
tap them?
I would love to have sex with any three of those people. No, I mean to be the replacement co-host.
Oh, what would you say at my eulogy? I did that for you earlier.
I would say Blake Clayton was a very complicated man. Good night, folks.
Perfect.
Oh boy, you know what else is perfect? Is this fine-tuned rating scale that we have
Oh, it's
here.
perfect. There's no other rating scale on the universe that is
Makes more sense.
Thank you.
Right? This is what you got. You got 1, all right? And then after that you got a number 2,
then you got a number 3,
followed so quickly by a number 4.
then a 5 and a 6,
And then right to top it off at the very top, you got a number 7.
top of the line, like a
19
Mercedes Benz.
Oh, I love a Mercedes Benz. The 1990s was so rich and plush. Just a king's ransom worth of high quality television program, including the sitcom we call Wings, and it was called by Wings when it was on TV too. We didn't just make that up.
No, we couldn't. We're not that smart.
We're pretty smart, but we're not that smart.
Number 1, Roy Biggins, fat fuck, gross, sweaty.
These are our rating scale is based on the characters from Wings, and 1 is the worst, like you just said, Roy Biggins, right?
Yep.
Number 7 is the best. It's Brian Hackett.
Man,
right?
guy was smooth as crap.
Oh boy, it was smooth as fudge.
I'm cleaning it up. You know what? I wish. Oh, God damn it!
1 was a Roy Biggins. He's a piece of junk. It's the worst you can get. 7 is the best you can get. Is Brian Hackett.
He's smooth as fudge.
Captain Philip, rest assured, I turn to you. How do you rate the television pilot Changing Patterns?
I'm giving this an Edgar bump.
Well deserved.
I'm giving it a 2.
That's pretty bad.
It's pointless to watch this. It would have been a 1 if it would not for Edgar.
Yeah, you know,
Great
women,
poems.
Oh, yeah. Women sometimes, if they're around each other long enough, they'll be like,
They'll sync up their periods.
"Yeah, exactly right." Now, what else do I have to say? I give it a 2 as well. You're exactly right. This pilot is pretty shitty. I've seen worse. All right, I've seen a hell of a lot better. This is at the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah, it's not entertaining.
It's one of these a PU stinky.
Kevin
right?
Slice, please don't watch this one. He's very good at watching the pilots.
He's on a mission from God to watch these.
Do not watch this one.
I think this is just
know
like
what?
earlier saying whatever that thing was, don't do that thing. He's going to do that thing. What was the example earlier? Oh, where Rob said don't click on this link if you know me, right? For Broken Funny
Oh,
Bone.
yeah.
This is like that. Kevin absolutely will go watch Changing
But I don't want him to. He's got so much more creative things he can be doing.
He really doesn't.
Make a baby, for God's sake. I want to be an uncle.
Taking pretty big steps there. And with those ratings, those period sinking ratings, we close the book on Changing Patterns, and we'll never speak of that show again.
Ever.
But join us next time, won't you please, when we watch the pilot episode of The Omen.
Uh-oh, scary.
Here's a little something to wet your whistle.
I'm so scared. I'm scared.
Epidemiologist Dr. Linus AP. I'm sorry.
Does he have his blanket with him?
Linus, Charles Schultz. It's pretty funny. Epidemiologist Dr. Linus, AP photojournalist Jack Mann, and ER nurse Annalise try to stop a demonic entity that's possessing people from unleashing a biological weapon during the St. Patrick's Day parade. You can find the entire episode by subscribing to Couch Pilots in Apple Podcasts or your favorite podcast app of choice, and then simply click on one of our classically blue links in our show notes, or
Go to YouTube, and you know what to do, Tube.
Hip Hop Hooray. I don't know about you, but I give props to hip hop, so hip hop hooray.
We should have done this episode like 3 weeks ago. It would have been.
It was ill. I mean, it's ill-timed. But
I'm just making a comment.
Okay. Do you know I have like a pattern that I go through? Do you know that?
No.
Okay. So
Shitty to shittier.
Should we get into this or not?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
So
Pull back the curtains.
Our seasons are 10 episodes long, right?
Yeah.
And I take a look at all the available pilots that we have, and I took. Oh, how many do we have in the 50s? How many do we have in the 60s, 70s, 80s? And I put them in a pile. And the ones that
smoke it?
And I fucking rolled it up and smoked it.
You know that Cheech and Chong album, Still Smoking? When you open up the sleeve, it had a full sheet of like rolling paper.
Did it?
Like the size of an LP.
Okay.
And if you had that album with the original rolling paper still intact, it would be worth thousands of dollars. You know why? Because everybody that bought that album used it to smoke it up. And they don't have any of them anymore that actually have that paper intact.
Good to know.
Interesting fact.
Interesting fact indeed. Another interesting fact is if you have heard of the internet and go to it, you can go to couchpilotspodcast.com. And that is a virtual, quite literally a virtual one-stop shop where all of our past episodes are available for free. You can contact us on all of our forms of social media.
You can email us from there.
Yep,
And you can also, if you forgot the dial-in number, you can find it on there as well. It's a hub. It's the hub.
It is a hub. Mm-hmm. Did you just come up with that phrase, hub? I like it.
Yeah.
I like that you came up with that.
Thanks, buddy guy.
While the number is there, you can't use that. You'll have to use your cellular device to call us. It's 910-PILOTS-1. Leave us a voicemail. We love to get them.
We love them. We have one for next week.
Oh, it's holstered and we're ready to let it unload.
You want me to give it up who it is?
No,
okay.
I don't. I don't want you to. Actually, this is what I'll say. We had Adam Z calling this episode. We just mentioned 3 people that would come to your funeral. Is it one of those people?
Yes, it is.
All right. Well, there's a little teaser for you.
That's all I got to say about that.
And finally, I will mention if you Google the word Patreon, and then you go to Patreon, and then from there you use the Google engine on Patreon to put in Couch Pilots, you can find us.
Or you can just put www.patreon.com/couchpilots and it'll take you right there.
Yeah, you cut out the middleman if you do that. And then if you go there, you can subscribe to this show. You can make a monthly donation if you want. Help us keep the lights on. We do this all for free. It's a passion that Captain Philip Ressisher and I have, and we love to do it week after week. But if you want to contribute a little something to the art, that's what Patreon is, saying, I like this thing that these people do. Here's a few shekels to help them keep the lights on. We'd appreciate it.
Yeah, it's our passion of the Christ.
Mm-hmm, that's exactly right. Right now I'm going through the stigmata.
And here's the thing. There are thousands and thousands and millions of people that go to church every Sunday.
Yeah.
And they pass a little plate around. Yep. Just put a couple bucks in it. Nobody says, how much did he put in? You just put a little envelope in there. Okay?
Yeah. You do that. You put the money in there, and then Christ touches you on your forehead.
We're going to touch your forehead.
We're going to touch you, too, in ways that align with the different portions on Patreon that we've elected to reward the people who pay.
Sure.
Who give us money.
There are 4 different available
levels,
I
guess.
Each of them has, different things that are available. We really want to do.
We actually got a couple cool ones that I never consented to, but it will ultimately fall into line for.
Right. We want to do a couple of them.
Yeah, it'd be a lot of fun.
You don't have to. Let's say it's $20. You don't have to commit to $20 every month. If you do it that one month, you're going to get that reward.
That's the first time I heard that. That's very interesting. Boy, that'd be fun. But yeah, you can have personal conversations with us. You can be on a flight. You can get
special episode.
A special episode, essentially, that only you will hear.
Right. Yeah, because nobody else. Yeah.
I mean, that's what it is, though,
sure.
right? That is what it is.
Yeah.
It's special for the person who donates, so that's really cool. Anything else you'd like to say to all of our frequent flyers before we go?
No, I mean, it's been a busy show. We've had a lot of, I apologize for all the sex talk and stuff. That's really inappropriate.
Thank you.
But one of the things I'm starting to do here, I started at the end of season 12, is I want to spin a positive message at the end of every show.
Oh, okay, that sounds good. Something that everyone can kind of take with them for the week and hopefully grow upon.
A lot of times we look at people and we judge them before we even talk to them.
I know I do.
What do you think about me?
I think you look great. You look like Eminem.
Slim Shady.
You look like General Schwarzkopf.
I'm just Marshall Mathers. I want everyone that listens to this podcast this week, when you're out in the world, if you're at the Starbucks, if you're at the Foster's for Beer Brewery, wherever you are, if you're at the bank, at the drive-thru at the bank, let's say you're meeting someone to buy bolts from, right? Or if you're welding something, if you see someone,
say someone Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Say someone I'm giving. No, I don't judge them by how they look. Just walk up to them, say, "Hi, my name is blank."
But use your name. Don't say the word.
Right, yeah. But just say hi to them. You know, I'm not asking you to be best friends with them. I'm not asking you to walk away thinking that you got a new lover. Just walk up to somebody and say hi.
Wow.
That's all I got.
Wise, very wise words. The only words perhaps wiser than that are this pilot may have been rough, but it is always a smooth flight here on Couch Pilots. Thanks, everyone, and we'll see you next time.
Guten Morgen.
On behalf of Couch Pilots and the entire crew, we'd like to thank you for joining us on this trip, and we are looking forward to seeing you on board again in the near future. Have a nice day.